Hello and welcome to Oklahoma, Your Voice 2014 voting. My name is Josh Kraft, and tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the races, particularly the ones here in Garvin County, to inform you, the voters, of who's on the ballot coming up in November. First off, we're going to talk about the Oklahoma general election, which is Tuesday, November 4th. And the polls open up at 7 a.m. and they will close at 7 p.m. Alright, first off, we're going to talk about some state offices as we go through here. First office we're going to talk about is the governor's race, which is a pretty heated race right now. Incumbent Mary Fallon is facing off against Joe Dorman, Democrat. We have two independent candidates in this race, Kimberly Willis and Richard Prodensky. Now let's look at the lieutenant governor's race. Incumbent Todd Lamb, Republican, is facing off against Kathy Cummings, a Democrat and a business owner. Our next one is going to be the state superintendent of public education post, which was formerly led by Janet Barisi, who was voted out of office in the primary election. Now, former Board of Education Joyce Hoffmeister, Republican, is going to face off against Dr. John Cox, Democratic. Next up, we have Commissioner of Labor. Not much going on about this race, but incumbent Mark Castillo, Republican, is facing off against Democratic candidate Mike Workman. Now let's take a swing and look at some bigger races here. United States congressional races, to be exact. United States Senate race. This is the one with Jim Imhoff holding office. He will be facing off as Matt Silverstein, Democratic, and there's three independents in this race: Aaron DeLozer, Ray Woods, and Joan Farr. The next Senate seat we're going to talk about is the one that Tom Coburn is vacating and retiring 2 years early, so this is going to be an unexpired term. The candidate is State Senator Connie Johnson, Democrat, against longtime Falls Creek Youth Director James Langford, Republican. Mark T. Beard is also running, looking to spool somebody's victory as an independent. Going over to United States Representative District 4, this is the one that Garvin County is seated in. Longtime Representative Tom Cole, Republican, is facing off against Bert Smith, Democratic candidate. And we have one independent also in this race, Dennis Johnson. Now we're going to look at some state races as far as legislative races. State representative race, House District 20, which is the only House race in Garvin County at this time, and the ones you will be voting on. This particularly pertains to citizens that live on the east side of Pauls Valley, Paola, on towards Stratford area. Joni Johnson, Democrat, will be facing incumbent Bobby Cleveland in that race. District Attorney race, District 21, which includes Cleveland, McLean, and Garvin counties. Incumbent Greg Mashburn, Republican, will face off Mike Milstead of Norman. District Judge race, now this is a newly created office. It's going to be for District 21, Office 5, which also includes Cleveland, McLean, and Garvin County. The thing about this office is all the citizens in those three counties will elect one or two people. Associate District Judge in McLean County, Steve Stice, or Associate District Judge in McLean County, Jeff Virgin. Now let's look at Garvin County's Associate District Judge race. This is going to be for a full term. As you remember, Judge Blake retired. Steve Kendall was appointed to finish out that term. Now he's running for re-election against Kristen Jarman, a local attorney in Pauls Valley. Our lone commissioner race in Garvin County is County Commissioner District 1, which includes Lindsay, Maysville, Paola, and portions of Pauls Valley. Stance Spivey is running for a full term this time against Jared Work. Spivey is a Democrat and Work is Republican. Now on the ballot, usually in the November general elections or in the general election in general, we have what we call the judicial retention. And basically what this is where the citizens go and vote whether or not the justices or judges on the Supreme Court, Court of Criminal Appeals, and Civil Appeals, if they should retain their office or stay in their office. So we're going to look at those races for just a little bit and go over who's in what office and what district. The first one we're going to talk about is the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Now, just a reminder, Oklahoma has 3 different courts, state courts. The first one is the Supreme Court, and the other 2 is the Court of Criminal Appeals and Civil Appeals. The first one we're going to look at is the Supreme Court. Justices John Reif, District 1, Tom Colbert, District 6, not to confuse him with Senator Coburn, and Joseph Watt of District 9. These are the justices for the Supreme Court. You will decide if they should keep to stay in their office respectively. Now we're going to look at Court of Criminal Appeals. Now there's only one person that is on the ballot in this section, and that is Gary Lumpkin. He is in District 3. Again, you will vote on whether or not to keep him in that office. It is basically a yes or no vote. Now we're going to look at the crowded field of Court of Civil Appeals. Judges Jerry Goodman of District 1, Office 1, Jane Wiseman of District 1, Office 2, Deborah Barnes of District 2, Office 1, Keith Rapp of District 2, Office 2, Brian Gorey of District 6, Office 2, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that last name right. Remember, you are voting whether or not to keep these justices and judges in office. They are not running against each other. That is one thing you should know. These justices and judges are not running against each other. Now, a few dates that are important to look at, and one is coming up fairly fast. That is the last day to register to vote, which is October 10th. That is the last day to register to vote, and I encourage you to please do so. Also, October 29th at 5 p.m., it is the last day to request absentee ballots. For those that like to go in and vote early, like myself, you can do so at the Garvin County Election Board. It's located in the county courthouse in the main building. Thursday, October 30th, and Friday, October 31st, you can go in between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and cast your ballot. They will be open Saturday, November 1st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, you're going to see on your ballot 3 state questions. 2 are dealing with the homestead, which falls under the county assessor umbrella, which we'll try to talk to County Assessor Strickland and interview her and talk to her about what exactly that means. The other one is, it basically contains if state elected officials all the way down to county officials can serve in the military. Again, we'll have more in-depth detail about those state questions so you are more informed. And as always, it is important to do your civic duty in voting, and I encourage you to please to register to vote if you haven't done so, and I encourage you to please find more information about each candidate and questions that are on the ballot this year. Again, I thank you very much for allowing me this time to come into your homes and explain to you what exactly that means. And as always, it is important to do your civic duty in voting, and I encourage you to please to register to vote if you haven't done so, and I encourage you to please find more information about each candidate and questions that are on the ballot this year. Again, I thank you very much for allowing me this time to come into your homes and explain to you who's running for what and why. I can't tell you who to vote for, but I promise you, please go vote and voice your opinion. Again, I'm Josh Kraft, and I appreciate your support and in the election system. So again, cast your vote November 4th in the general election. Thank you again.